solved sample 2, we were asked to simplify root 48, also root 200, and root 420. But before I would solve those, you might be also asked to simplify the square root of, let's say, 25. The square root of 25 will straight up be 5, you see, and whole number. But these other ones that we're given here, you won't be able to get a whole number because there's no two numbers that if you multiply would give us either of these numbers. Now, the first thing to do is we'll go back to what I would always say, and I'm also pushing my students to do, the multiplication table. Now, you need to know of a number that you would multiply with another number to arrive at 48, but that number would have a perfect square, just like the number 25. So for 48 now, if we say if you are given the square root of 16, you know square root of 16 is 4, right? Because 4 times 4 gives us 16. Now 16 times 3 would actually give us 48. So to simplify this, you'd say 16 times 3 equals, the square root of 16 is what? 4, right? So you have 4 and times 3, and lastly you bring the 4 out. The 4 will be out, root 3, and this is your final answer. This is the sodic form for the square root of 48. We'll try same for 200. Note 100 we could find two numbers that would multiply to give us 100. That is 10 times 10, right? So 100 times 2 would give us 200. So you have 100 times 2 equals 200, right? Now the square root of 100 is 10, isn't it? So you have 10 times 2. We bring out our 10 root 2, and this is our final answer. And for the last question, we're given 420. That's the square root of 420. 4 times 105 would give us 420, and so the square root of 4 times 105. And if we go further, the square root of 4 is actually 2, isn't it? So we'd have 2 times 105, and remember we'll bring out the 2 out, the square root of 105, and this is your final answer. Now this is actually how to simplify the SOD. I'll go again. We looked for a number that has a perfect square. 4 times 4 will give us 16. I would look for another number that will multiply that number to arrive at 48. So 16 times 3 would give us 48. Now we look for the square root of 16. We arrived at 4, and we brought back our 3 here. And this and lastly, you bring out your 4 from the square root, and you leave your 3 inside. Please note, this thing you call square root is also called radical. At the university level, you would call it radical, no longer square root. You win. Just believe.